Hello, welcome to OpenLand Mesh. In this video, I'm going to explain what OpenLand Mesh is, what you can do with that. So here we have some sort of like a world, and also we have a animated plane. You can see we have moving collisions as well. So I'm going to explain how we created these two versions using OpenLand Mesh. All right, let's get started. After you install OpenLand Mesh, the easiest way to get started is go to the example map. So for that, you can open the content browser, and from here search for OpenLand Mesh, and then there will be a directory called OpenLand Mesh content, and then we have example directory, and then we have a map called OpenLand Mesh example map, and just double click that. Then you have the example map that I showed you earlier. Here we have two main objects. We have a procedurally created planet, and we have an animated plane. I'm going to show you how we created these two versions using OpenLand Mesh. So this is not a tutorial, but trying to show you how we made this. But in a later video, I'm going to explain how to do all these things step by step. Here, this is just a blueprint. So this blueprint exists on the examples blueprint directory. You can see the animating plane. This is this green color plane, and this is the planet that we are seeing. Right, then let's try to see how I made this planet. Okay, then I'm going to select this, and I can simply edit this planet blueprint over here, or so simply I can double click this blueprint. So I'm gonna hit this, double click, and then I have a blueprint window like this. Here I arrange my blueprint window like this. We have viewport here, and this is the main graph area. This is the details panel, and here I put the component, and then my blueprints, the functions and other things are listed over here. So basically with that one, I can easily work around with my mesh and see all the things visually. And there are some changes I did. Let's turn up all these additional features of changes that I made to this mesh. For that one, I'm going to select my components tab and select the first node, root node, the planet, self. Okay, and there are some options. And I'm going to turn up some of them. We have something called GPU vertex modifier. I'm going to turn that off. And then we have subdivisions. I'm going to put that to default, which is 0. And smooth normal angles, I'm going to put that to 0 as well. I'm going to explain all these things in a moment. And I'm going to hit compile. And also we have material as well. Right now it doesn't make sense. I'm going to remove that as well. All right, now we have a box over here. And then if you go to wireframe mode, it's just a plain box. So how we create that? So we create that using a function over here. In the my blueprint, we have a function called get polygon mesh. I'm going to double click that function. So here's the function, and basically we have a function to get the polygon mesh. Here we create a make cube mesh, but there are some other options as well. All right, let's go back to my component. I'm going to select my planet component over here. Then I'm going to go to the wireframe mode. For example, I can start with one subdivision, and then we have subdivide our mesh like this. All right, and let's go something like 5. Alright, now I have 5 subdivisions on this cube. In order to create a planet, we change this each and every positions in a different way. We can do that on the CPU, or we can do that on the GPU as well. In this planet demo, we do that on the GPU. In order to create the planet, we need to use some noises and do some more calculations. So it makes sense to do that on the GPU, so which is kind of cheap. So here you can see we have a GPU vertex modifier. This is the material, and there are some parameters you can pass. So I'm gonna check this box, run GPU vertex modifiers, and I'm gonna compile it again. Now we have a planet. So this is the material, and it's a special material. Here we have some input, position, time, and some other information, and then we can run some calculation, and then we can provide the updated position as well as vertex colors. Based on that, we can create this mesh. If you're wondering how I created this, just stay with me. In a different video, I'll explain how I made all these things. All right, let's go to the lit mode. So now you can see we have this planet, but you can see triangles. We can get rid of this by smoothing the normals. So here on the OpenLand Mesh section, on the planet details panel, so we can try to put the smooth angles into 90. I'm going to compile that again. Now you can see all the triangles are gone. I'm going to explain that in a different video in detail. All right, now we can basically put on material. For example, we have a material created for MI Earth. So based on that, we can get some colors based on the height of this mesh. And for the ocean, you can see we don't have any height over there, but we pass that information via the vertex colors. Here's the sea channel. So based on that, we can customize the ocean depth like this. You can see we can customize how it looks. That you see here the same as the planet we created here, but we have increased the subdivision to get more details. All right, let's talk about this animating plane. This one actually. So I'm going to select this from the world outline. I'm going to hit edit animating plane blueprint. Here we have this. I can hit the simulate and I can visualize the animation right inside this viewport, which is quite handy. So then let's understand all these things. So here I'm going to select my self, the main root component. I'm going to turn up all these things. I'm going to set the subdivision to 0, smooth normal angles 0, and here we are running the vertex modifiers, changing vertices inside the CPU. I'm going to remove that. Animate, no, I don't want that. So this is just the default. I'm going to compile that. Now you can see we have a simple plane. So I can wireframe mode. Yeah, you can see that here. How we get this plane? It's quite easy. Go to my blueprints tab, and here we have a function called get polygon mesh. You can see here we create a make plane mesh and we do some transformation. All right, so let's go back to my component. I'm going to select my root component, and then I'm going to hit more subdivision. Let's put 6 over here, compile, and then I'm going to run vertex modifiers inside the CPU. I'll run CPU vertex modifiers, compile, okay, and then I'm going to go to lit mode, and you can see triangles over here, but we can simply get rid of that by smoothing the normals. All right, so now we have a really nice looking mesh. Okay, now we're trying to animate it. Then if I simulate this, nothing happens. The reason is we are not click this animate the checkbox. We need to do that to make these animations happen. So I'm gonna compile it again. I'm gonna hit simulate. Now you can see we animate it. So now you wonder how we change these vertices. Earlier we used a material and we do that in the GPU, but right now we're doing it inside the CPU. For that one, we have a different function. I'm going to my blueprint section, and then we have a function called on modify vertex. So that's very similar to earlier. So we get some position, and then we got some information, and we can use some calculation. For example, here I use a sine function to generate this sort of waves. And then after that, we can give that the updated position. That's it. That's how we do it. You wonder how we do animation, and basically that's simple as well. We get the time, then we can use that time inside the sine function and do the animation. And if you're not sure how to do all these things, I'm gonna explain that in a later video, step by step, each and everything. All right, then so we have this, and I'm gonna simulate, and you can see just working pretty nicely. Save it. So then basically I can drag this plane into a place I like, and yeah, it's there, and just as you expect. This is some of the few things you can create with OpenLand Mesh. In coming videos, I'll explain how you can use OpenLand Mesh to create very interesting things. If you want to use this right now, you can simply download OpenLand Mesh from the GitHub. If you want to use this on a commercial product or to support us, you can buy that from the marketplace. That will be really helpful. All right, see you soon with another tutorial explaining some of the functionality of OpenLand Mesh. Bye.